Alright, hello everyone. So I am going to be commentating and critiquing over my own run, which is just a cool way to I think continue to learn and grow. So this is just a run I did of a standard Millennial Pre settings for Chrono Trigger Just of Time randomizer. I had the sound going, but I didn't have any video going, so surprise mom, no hands. I'm not actually playing right now, but I'm watching over and commentating what I was doing. So talking about what could I have done differently, maybe I can learn something, and then I can run the seed back again and see if I can do it faster in different ways. But also just a fun way to learn, if people want to learn a little bit more about how to commentate, or learn the Chrono Trigger randomizer a little bit here. I'll talk over it for a second. You guys can learn with me. So this is the start. I think I had a Chrono and Frog start. Yeah, I did this not even a week ago, but I don't remember everything about it. I remember some things. I think I ditched Frog pretty early. I think the big thing that happened with this run was I got gate key early and ended up going to prehistoric very early, and then I got whoever was at an early new. I think there was 2 news here right off the bat. I kind of made my routing and my running a little weird. And then yeah, I think I ran back, got the Dactyl Nest character just to have some high level characters for a bit, and then I almost didn't go into Cathedral at all. Because I don't want whatever characters in the early part of Cathedral. I just want to get the Dactyl character and just go. But I did. I ended up going and getting them because the tabs in the back are really helpful. Yeah, I did a lot more shopping in this run than I normally do. I spent a lot of money early. My numbers were weird here. So that's the thing I need to practice, is just make sure I don't use left and right. I don't need 20 shelters. I need 5 or 6, right? And I was trying to decide. I was looking at what was here. I think I forgot to grab the tab. Yep. So another thing, I could have saved 5 or 10 seconds here in this room just by optimally doing that room faster. Yeah, I think Frog just didn't have good stuff right off the bat. Yep, I needed nothing else in there. And it's possible I could skip ahead here a little bit, but because I know there was at least 2 points. Yeah, Moonstone. Didn't grab this Moonstone. I do come back and get it later, actually. And I decided, yeah, because I didn't buy the Moonstone, I was gonna spend the money to get Chrono this sword. Which again, this took a little while, but I sell that and I sell 1 shelter and a couple mid-tonics just to get to 12,000 so that I could buy this blade for Chrono. And I don't know with 45 attack if I can do Denadoro Mountain with the crits with Chrono, because I know you can do it obviously with Ayla and Magus. So I just opted for regular strats in the forest. But again, I don't always do that much shopping right away. But I was like, you know what? Screw it. Chrono and Frog are both characters that need swords to be more relevant. And ended up sticking with Chrono this whole time. I think I ultimately found a rainbow, I'm pretty sure, at some point. This run was kind of nuts. It started out real fast. Yeah, because there was gate key. And there was a part of me that was instantly I should just go there immediately and get magic unlocked. Right here, I was I'm gonna do it, and I didn't. I was it's not the smart move, because I still gotta grab some tabs. I should get whoever the Cathedral character is. Because, could be good. I knew it wasn't going to be Luca because she was stuck in the burrow. And I still at this point didn't know what my techs were because I hadn't checked and I hadn't done this yet. And I think it started with like Luminaire or something, or yeah, I think it's something like it was good. It was like Spin Cut and Luminaire or something right off the bat, and then Frog had like I don't know, like Water and Slurp, or Slurp Cut and Slurp, like whatever it wasn't great. Did this fight? I think I maybe missed one optimal attack here. I think it was in the second fight. Because Frog got the crit, we'll kill here. And I think Magus is in Cathedral. And I decided to keep Magus the whole game. Because he was good at the beginning and he got Dark Matter really early. And so we just kept him. Got this other shelter, especially because I sold one. I almost always grab this shelter anyway, because why not? It's like 1,200 gold. But yeah, this was an interesting seed because I got Gatekeep right away. Yeah, this is where I should have done this differently, right? I should have had Frog go first because he would have gotten the crit, but it didn't matter because I think Frog can just kill these things. But sometimes I think Frog can't kill these things in one hit. Lightning and Cyclone. Okay, so I was very wrong. Leap Slash, I was very wrong. I think he gets Luminaire from going to Specchio. Maybe that's what it was. So yeah, not as good right off the bat. Frog had Leap Slash, which like actually was good. So yeah, I had Frog. I had Frog and I had Magus. Because I get Magus here at Cathedral. And then I think the character I decked on this was Robo. And I just looked at Robo and I looked at Frog. And I was like, Robo just, I think, had better techs right off the bat as well. Now I say that because I was wrong last time. But legitimately, I think he had Shock right away and Heal Beam. And I was like, okay, I think I'm just stick with Robo for now. Plus, there was a really good weapon for him. Oh yeah, and this was dumb. I think I slurp cutted this person. And I was like, nope, should have Leap Slashed. That was dumb. Guarantee the kill. I was like, I thought slurp cut would be good enough, so it's kind of a good thing to know going forward. It's like even just a regular Frog Sword is not good enough to kill these things. And even that wasn't, like, I don't think 44 doesn't even kill those dudes, so I guess I was going to have to two-shot him anyway. So it didn't really matter. Like, when your number is very small and you multiply it, it still isn't very big because the initial number is not very big, you know? But, you know, Magus came with this amulet, which I love. I always love having status protection. Some of the things I could definitely, excuse me, do better. Like menuing. Like menuing is always a hard thing to do optimally in an RPG, right? I tried really hard, and I've been trying really hard to get better at like remembering the equipment that I pick up, and trying and not to menu as much. Because often what happens is like then I menu and I'm like, okay, I'm running through these maps, right, picking up chests, and I'm kind of just, you know, like running through it, and I'm not really paying attention to the items I get. Or if I do, I instantly forget because like something else happens right away. Now this, I think, is a good important menu to do, because getting those ethers off so that you can cyclone. I probably didn't need to do that many, because I think cyclone I just killed these guys outright. And then I did a run out of this cathedral, and I was done here forever, so. still didn't know what Magus was gonna get. Because, you know, he's big. Oh, and then I think this is where I had to pause the game for a minute. I think I had like a phone call, and then I think I had like another phone call. So I am gonna skip ahead just a hair here to wherever. Yeah, I can't do it perfectly, so that's just where we're gonna be. Yeah, I had to pause the timer for a minute there. Yeah, and then I was just like, let's go. I think I grabbed that food because I know that there's the place to heal for free at the end of time. But I think there was for a moment I was thinking I wasn't going to go to the end of time because I was going to try to just go up Dactyl's Nest first to get whoever the third character was so that I could unlock their magic and not have to talk to Specchio twice. But I've done that before, and unless I'm remembering this wrong, the problem is then your epoch isn't in 65 million BC. So you have to come back up this mountain anyway and do the fight. And so even though this feels out of the way, I'm pretty sure this is always faster. Is to just go right back up into the portal. And then you have to fly back to find, you have to go in the portal back to the present to get your epoch to then fly back to the prehistoric era. But that's still faster than having to go down and back up the mountain, the little mountain there twice. And I did this perfectly this time too. Like, we all know, we all played this game. This stupid room sometimes just screws you up. And it feels so bad when you don't do it 100% correctly, because it's like... So I practiced it a couple of times, even though I feel like I don't need to, because I've been playing this game for like almost 30 years. You know, like crazy. I'm not 30. I've been playing it for 25. I didn't get it right when it came out. But I got it a few years later, which I still have. Got it from Funko Land. Well, you know what Funko Land is. You get 20 extra points. Yep. Went back here. So I did not need to eat that cake. That was right there. Which wasn't like a huge time waster or saver. It's just there was a free heal I could have used later at some point. Yep, and I just decided, let's go. Now here's something I haven't practiced a lot of. It's like, where was I? It's like, where exactly is this spot? But one thing I hadn't practiced and haven't done a lot of practicing of was checking what's in hunting grounds and knowing whether or not it's worth getting. You know, like there wasn't anything astronomical in here. There was like a good weapon for Robo, I think, that I just came out, and there might have been something else, but I didn't think it was worth the like whatever 3.5 minute investment. Because like eventually I'll find a better weapon. You know, if it was like a rainbow for Chrono right then, I might have been like, yeah, doing it. And then I think I missed both of these skips, which they're both tricky for sure. But I've also gotten both of them multiple times in runs, so I got a little frustrated with that. But that's definitely something to work on too. Is like in the middle of a run, you know, just like anything, competitive, whatever you're talking about. Like, you just gotta brush it off and keep going. Yeah, because I was like right there. Then I went too far. Which is fine. Because like it's not that big of a time waste. And the other thing I haven't practiced 100% is like exactly how long you have to hold the runaway. I think I probably hold it a little bit longer than I need to. But I'm like terrified of like, oh, what if I don't hold it long enough and then a monkey hits me with a rock, you know? And coming up to something like this, it's like, how many times do you try it before you just go? Like that, I thought was too far. And that looked, I don't know why I moved there. That wasn't far enough. That was too far. Yeah, I tried this like 4 or 5 times. That wasn't far enough. That's a titch too far. Yeah, I was like, I should have just not done it right off the bat. Or I should have tried it like once or twice and then just been like, screw it. Because like that felt like it wasted time, you know, for sure. It's a hard skip. One thing I don't love is this menu that you have to like you put in the character in your team, and it's like, yeah, I probably am, but also I want to check what texts are first. You can't do it from that screen, which I don't love. So what was here? Shock. The dash ring was the thing that I was really debating about for a moment. And then there was this Terra arm. I knew I wasn't going to get Luca. So I probably thought about this a lot longer than I should. Not a lot longer. I thought about it 5 seconds longer than I should have. And then I went out. I shouldn't have. I'm not sure why I looked in here necessarily because I had no money. But it's good to look. And so ultimately what I chose to do here... well, I healed, obviously. And then I looked at my team build up. And I want to see, like, could I have thought through this faster? Okay, Luminaire was what was about to come up. There we go. Heal, Leap Slash, Dark Matter was coming, and he had Shock, Heal Beam, and a Robo Attacker for physical. I was like, okay. So I ultimately ended up choosing Robo over Frog. In my head, I think I was primarily thinking, like, Frog kind of fits both Chrono and Robo's. And this was like, oh, dude, there's a dude down there right away, so I'm going to kill 3 of you and then go down Secret Tunnel, which I don't think had much of anything. But yeah, I think what I was thinking was Frog kind of does things both similar to Chrono and Robo. And I was determined I was going to keep Magus right now. So, like, Magus is going to be my magical powerhouse. Chrono had Luminaire, which was good for here in this dungeon specifically. But ultimately, I was like, I think Chrono is just going to be my physical output. And I was just going to give all of my physical power tabs to him and my magic tabs to Magus. And so because I was going to do that, it just kind of turned into, well, then who's the better utility character? Is it Frog or is it Robo? And I almost always like Robo better for utility. Not always, but he's got better HP and a little bit better defense kind of generally. So if he's going to be utility, let's just have him do it. He's slow, for sure, but he's a big beefy boy and he deserves love, and I like Robo a lot. I think he's underrated. And I was about to get Super Volt, which was another... Oh, there was the Prism specs in here. This was nuts. Okay. The first chest wasn't, but the Prism specs, that's right, because I eventually in this run, I do get a Prism specs and a Sunshades. Yeah. Yeah, so having Super Volt was good, because I saw that coming, and just like, Frog, I didn't see a weapon soon enough. He had Leap Slash, but he didn't have a weapon, and he didn't have Water 2 coming. He had Heal, but Robo also had, Heal Beam, so chose Robo. I feel like I'm justifying this a lot, but I'm just trying to talk through my reasoning about what I was thinking and whether or not it was the right choice or not. Ultimately, I never found, like, the Masamune or any other, like, really good sword for him. I don't think, anyway. If I did, I sold it, right? So what I ended up doing here, which I knew I was going to do, was leave. Because I had done 0 grinding up to this point, right? I hadn't done anything in the desert. I didn't go through Cathedral. I hadn't gone through Denadoro Mountains, like, first room or whatever. Oh, yeah. And I was like, shoot, am I going to have to fight this guy? And I didn't remember that I can just go down the hole. Because a lot of these rooms, you go down the hole, and you have to fight the dudes. And I don't go down this room super often. But knowing I was going to do this little grind here a couple of times... I get to like 23 or 24 minutes into this run, and I only have 1 key item. But with all my setup, going to get Robo, going up Dactyl's Nest, finding a Prism specs, having shock, having dark. I was gonna get dark matter, and luminaire. I was like, okay, then I'm ready for anything. Like I can. This is a slightly higher tier dungeon than like, you know, the Cathedral or Heckram's Cave or something. But I knew that leveling up here and doing this dungeon was going to be possible with the damage output that I had. And I felt really good going forward from here that I was just going to be able to zoom through a lot of the rest of the dungeon options. Like Zenny Bridge I checked, because that's a real quick check to see. And I'm pretty sure I did it, whatever it was. I think it was Hero Metal. And I did it because, like, okay, I need to see what the Hero Metal is. And that gives a slight pause, right? Like, I could see doing this seed again. Very easily doing this seed again and just keeping Frog and getting the Hero Metal and just being like, I'm good, you know? So I would be really curious to do this seed again and keep... There's a Super Bolt. Keep Frog with the Hero Metal. And maybe not even go to Dactyl's Nest. You know, maybe I would have done back at Cathedral, look for Marl or something instead. And I don't know. I'm not sure. It's interesting theory crafting. You know, like if this was a race or something, like what would I have done? Or what would my opponent or someone else have done? And was this the fastest way to do this seed? Because I feel like the answer is no. Because, well, we'll see what happens as we watch this seed. What ends up happening to this seed is it gets kind of linear in the sense that, like, I think you have to use Pendant to go to the future to get all 3 go modes. And I was like very close to getting anything else, and ultimately I was like, okay, my last thing is I gotta find Pendant, and I did, and I was like, okay, so we have to do Trial, and then I think everything was locked behind the end. Because I think what ultimately happened was, like, Mara was in the future, and I used her to do Moonstone and Prism at the same time. And I think one of the pieces of the sword was King's Trial, and then I think the clone or the Chrono Trigger was the Moonstone. And then I never found either the Ruby Knife or the Dreamstone. I can't remember which one it was, but I think I checked later and it was behind Genodome or Thomas Pop into something I never did. I think Thomas Pop and Genodome were the only 2 things I didn't do. I think. So, like, this is a pretty full seed. I do almost everything. And that was, like, at the beginning, like, right here, and for the next, like, 20 minutes, I feel really good. Like, I feel like I'm in a good position. I can run through the rest of these dungeons really fast. And so here's my first time, and I decide I'm just going to use this team. Like, I hadn't menued yet. All the tabs are going. Like, yeah, I'm just going to give him all the Chrono. Like, I thought about giving some to Robo for a hot minute, and then I think I equip... Yeah, the Prism Specs on him, because he has Dark Matter. I think I gave him the Magic just because he also... For healing and for shock. I think... See, this is where I took an extra second longer. I think I maybe gave the Bandana to him instead. This is where I go... I'm just going slow. Yeah. See, I should have done that faster. But I was just like making decisions, like what should I do, what should I do? And ultimately I chose to give the speed to Robo, which probably wasn't that relevant for this. I should have just been like, ah, it's fine. You know? Big old mutant. This did not take long, I don't think. So there's obviously some big decision point changes already in this run about going to the prehistoric era right away and keeping Robo. It's like, that I'll never know, really, if that would have been a better choice to stick with Frog or stick with the other eras. But the little things like the menuing for sure is the part so far that I think I could improve on the most. And a couple of those little, like, oh, I ran in this room preemptively when I shouldn't have. That sucked. I hated that. Because he had enough MP and even though that he did, I thought he wasn't going to take 2 or so. But he always takes MP from the person that hits him. I just kind of forgot it was going to be that much. I can't remember how I did this. This is another thing. There are some fights that I do here for sure. Like was like trying to count HP and like I took 1 or 2 extra turns to heal up when I should have just like attacked because I would have finished the fight earlier. Because like, does this take this guy out? Yeah, it did. Dark Mist and Dark Bomb. Yeah, I doubled up on tech there, which was really good. I was thinking about doing that, but I think I wasn't, like, that was not necessarily on purpose. It was kind of a happy accident. I knew I was close, but I didn't check, and I should have. Because I forgot. It was like, oh, it's 35 tech points. Like, that's significant. Yeah, I got Ruby Knife, and I was like, well, if I get Dreamstone, like, anytime soon, like, I'm just ready to go. I think it was funny. I think my first save was like in that last dungeon, which is kind of crazy. Should have safety saved earlier, just in case, you know. Yeah, I believe this was Hero Metal, which I did. I thought about not for a sec. I was like, no, like I need to see what's in there. It's fast. Yeah, that was the only thing. Again, I was trying really hard to like not over menu. Like, okay, but I did pick up a weapon because sometimes I do over menu. Whenever I pick up a new weapon, I will like immediately go into the menu and equip it. It's like I don't need to. Like I can wait until my next right before boss moment. But this is a right before boss moment. Assuming you don't get the menu glitch here, which I did, but that's not guaranteed. Like, I have not practiced that one effectively enough. I kind of just mashed and I got it. Excuse me. Oh, yeah, and I made a mistake here. So this will be something to remember. And having made the mistake and now watching it and talking about it, like all those things are gonna hopefully make me remember it better. Because there's a lot of little details. And this was my mistake, is I forgot that you can't use shadow magic on these guys. And I was trying to be creative about it. It's like, oh, I'm gonna use less MP and use Dark Bomb because they're all together. And it's like, wait a minute, nope. And then, yeah, and then I ended up using Luminaire, which used up more MP. I probably should have used Shock instead, could have taken less MP, but it didn't really matter that much. Hyper Ether and a Silver Earring was good. Never ended up using those earrings. I don't use earrings a lot. Probably should more often, just because they're kind of just like defense. But I think what I did here was I went to use... Yeah, I tried to go use Shock, but I got hit instead. I was like, I should just use Luminaire, because this took time. So this was not an optimal bridge by any means. Definitely would have done this better. He needs help. I think this was North Cape Magus. Yeah, and I got this, which was nice. Which again, for a moment, I freaked out. Not freaked out, but I just like I froze for a second. I was like, wait, is he gonna absorb? Can I use dark matter? Is he gonna absorb the shadow damage? But North Cape Magus is different than regular Magus in his castle. So for here, I waited. It's like, wait a minute, can I do this? And so I went for Super Volt instead. Which, that was probably a waste of like at least 5 seconds, you know? But then I was kind of thinking like, how am I going to learn if I don't just do it? And Mega still has the Prism specs on. He has them for a little while. I think eventually I get them over to Chrono for Confuse and for Super Volt, I think. Robo doesn't get Uzi Punch until the very end. Which is why I thought for a while about giving him some power tabs just so he could have some extra physical utility. Yeah, bought some revives because I didn't have any. Bought some heals because I didn't have any yet. And there was that Hurricane sitting there, and I was like, I was like, how can I get this Hurricane? I do eventually, I think, sell some stuff to buy. I don't think it was there. And okay, I need to talk to the cabinet first, and then talk to the dude. I either sell a bunch of stuff again, shopping a lot. I go down to like 0 monies. I think it. No, I can't remember. It was a weapon. It was a weapon for somebody. I don't remember who it was for. And this, I think this might have been Robo Ribbon, which like having Frog and Robo Hero Metal into Robo Ribbon felt really interesting. But I'd already committed to the team, so like I'm not switching back to Frog and Chrono. Even though as a kid, as a young boy, I thought that was the coolest team. Now I understand why the ladies are amazing. But as a young kid, I was like, Frog with a sword, cool robot, you know, spiky-haired main antagonist. They have cross slash and stuff, and it was cool. And then triple raid, because it's like one of the first triple techs you get. Well, Fire Zone is like always the first, but I think triple raid you get like relatively early. I always thought that was cool. Oh yeah, I did this next, didn't I? Give him the row ribbon for sure. And then speed. This is where I was thinking about things again. I was like, okay. I gave it to Megas because I wanted him to be like my magic AoE powerhouse, essentially. So I always wanted him to go first for like most fights. And ultimately, I ended up doing that for him for Mount Whoa, I'm pretty sure. Yep. I just kept the amulet, I'm pretty sure, for a while. But again, I'm thinking about this for a long time. Just because, like, I don't know if I'm going to be going against Mother Brain or, I don't know, Flea or something. Someone that can status me. And I'm pretty sure, again, having gone through some other dungeons early, this is to the point where I'm like, okay, like I can speed through this, I can speed through Hecrims, I can speed through Denadoro. I'm high enough level, I'm going to do the minimal amount of like item grabbing and stuff and just go for the bosses because I'm just like trying to go fast. Like kind of playing it essentially how I would if I was in a race. I did go and get a bunch of these. This dumb chest. Lapises are good. I know some people come here very early, like all the time, just because the items are so amazing, and I probably should think about doing that more often. And it was Mother Brain. I think I dark bombed here, yeah, because I could hit her in that top one. I think I just spin cut her. Yeah, I think so. Dark Launch is my best offense here. Does like 1,000 or whatever it was. Yeah. Yep. I was like, ready for that. Because I have lost to her because of confuse and hitting the displays more than once. Because sometimes you just get bad luck, right? Sometimes you just get confused right on the character who's about to go and they just attack the display and you're like, well, because you don't have any way to turn the displays off. So that was pretty optimal. Like, I don't know if that could have been done much better. You know? Could have menued a tiny bit faster maybe, but that was pretty perfect. So I felt very good about that. Speed Belt and a Blue Mail felt real good. Ice 2 and Fire 2, again, I doubled up on text with Magus. It's nice when you go against some of these bosses like the Retinite spot. Oh, Kaiser Arm. The Retinite spot and the Nizbel spot, because they give a lot of tech points. That's great. Just some of these chests are just so trolly. Pick stuff up. Get a nice Grandfather Paradox Robo. I thought about doing Denodoro here, and then going to the future. But, like, in my head, it's like, well, what was I doing here? I don't remember what I was doing there. Oh, yeah, I was thinking about selling stuff because I wanted this Hurricane. Yeah. I think that's what I was doing. Gave the better armor to my heal robot. I think was the thought in my head. I was like, I have a decent amount of stuff I can sell. I'm not gonna use Marl, so there we go. I have a bunch of money. Yep. I was like, yeah. I think ultimately I was like, I'm gonna keep at least one of all of these just in case. The speed belt I definitely use. I bought a couple more shelters. Yep. What was I trying to do here now? Again, this kind of sort of feels like I'm wasting time. Oh, I just wanted to sell that. I needed to do that at some point eventually anyway. Was it worth doing? Does he use his scythe enough for it to be relevant? Maybe not. Because I think what ultimately happens is I go up and fight like an elder spawn. And it's like, well, I could just cut him with my scythe. But I've learned that it doesn't really matter against elder spawn nearly as much. I debated about, I just bought a bunch of mid-ethers, which felt like the right call, and I'm down to like no money. I think I just used Dark Matter on the Elder Spawn. So like, getting a good weapon for Magus is nice every once in a while. But I just don't know if it was worth it. I don't know. He's just so cool. A cool warlock, dude. You want him, he has a cool scythe, why not give it to him? There's a clone. Yep. And so after I did that, I started to feel like, okay, when, like, I'm always asking the question, when is it time to go to WoW? You know, or when am I going to find my go mode item or the pendant? Because now we're 40 minutes in, you know? I was like, okay, well, Hecarim's really fast. Oh, this is the other thing I screwed up here. You can't run from this fight, I don't think. And I tried to because I was just trying to go as fast as possible. But the can't run away text on the screen doesn't show up, or it gets taken over by something else. If you go into like a menu that is trying to give a description of the item. And so I never saw the you can't run away screen. Because there's still a handful of fights in this game I have no idea which ones are runawayable and which ones are. This, I knew I was only going to do a couple fights, but Dark Matter and Luminaire take, 20 MP, so... I'm trying to remember what was here. I don't remember. Giga Gaia, maybe? Whatever it was, it didn't take long. I took that slow, but like I've been missing that skip a little bit recently, so like when I go slow and just really hug the wall, I get it. Or I practiced that one a couple times. And I can't remember, you run away from these fights too, but like this one for sure feels worth killing because there's 4 of them. You get like, I don't know, 25 or 30 tech points or something. It's like that ain't nothing to sneeze at. 20, it's only 20. But I got confused. Like, yeah. I didn't even think I knew that was coming. See, I think I do well after this. Because like Denadoro is obviously a little bit faster of a run. And could have found Dreamstone or whatever, but like in my head I'm like, okay, so Pendant's still out there somewhere. There's still a handful of key items I have to grab. The chances of Denadoro being Dreamstone are pretty low. And at some point, you always gotta be able to win the game. And right now I'm not in a state where I can win the game. I'm not strong enough. But Woe helps with that tremendously. So I think I decided to do Woe, but only go out of my way for a couple extra chests, not very many. I only looked at a couple. I skipped a lot of them. Just trying to go fast. Oh, this was Fleet Plus. Yeah, I hardly even remember. I think he does get off a stare on me one time. Because I think I don't quite... I think maybe I fight regular Fleet at some point later. I remember it was mostly really easy. Yeah, that wouldn't... Yep. Don't remember what this was. I feel like it's like Prism Shard or something. I do come back here to get his extra item because I do Moonstone eventually. That was Prism Shard. Yeah. So then I'm starting to think, okay. I wasn't actually racing one, but in my head I'm starting to think like, who went to Back of Cathedral and found Marl there? She's not, spoilers, she's in the future. But like, someone could have kept Frog, someone could have gone to End of Cathedral right at the beginning and found Marl, and like, Hecarim would have been a very obvious next dungeon choice. Because people wouldn't have had Robo if they didn't go back to the prehistoric era right away. Most people would have probably at least gone to the End of Time because of all the characters that needed magic unlocked. So they probably would have done that. But that doesn't mean everyone would have gone to, up Dactyl's Nest. So I was starting to wonder, like, did I need to get Marl? I actively chose not to look for where she was. And so... Oh, this was another thing. I think I spent a bunch of money selling stuff because the Star Sword is obviously way better for damage output. Like, it's almost twice as good. But the +2 speed, I think I went back in. No, I didn't. I did. I went back in because I was like, no, I really want that sword. And I just sold a bunch of stuff. Sorry, checking on something. So I'm missing a little bit of what I'm doing here. What was I doing here? was switching things. Oh, yeah. I was giving the speed belt. I should have just done that equip from the menu, because that would have been more optimal. Yeah, I forget. Like, sometimes I do it and then I'm just like, oh, I should have just done it in the menu the whole time. Grab this tab. Yeah, I gave the Prism Specs to Chrono because I gave the speed belt to Magus, just to guarantee that I was going to be able to get through all these fights. I think just like Dark Mist my way through. These guys have significantly more HP than like the gargoyles and the birds do. I think they have like 900 or something. 830. There you go. I checked with Robo because I was thinking that exact same thing while I was here. Because I've fallen into that trap a couple of times too, where it's just like, oh yeah, I can use Fire 2 or I could use Dark Mist or whatever, and then like I don't quite kill them, and I'm like, ugh, that was annoying. So Dark Matter definitely. Luminaire with Prism Specs probably would have done it too. I went out of my way for this first extra chest, which I usually don't do, because in my head I was doing this dungeon like, I'm not going to look for very many extra chests at all. I'm not going to fight any rebels. There's not any specific techs I'm looking for, so I'm going to do this real quick. And for some reason I was like, no, I'm going to go do this one, which I think was a dumb decision, because this is one of those fights that takes 2 rounds to kill. So I think in the future, like, I'm not going to do this check. I just don't like this check. It's kind of out of the way. It's a slightly higher tier chest. But the fact that it's an enemy that takes 2 rounds to kill, I really don't like that. Because there's a couple others, I think there's 1 or 2 that I didn't do that only takes 1 fight. This one feels a little, yeah, it's like that didn't feel worth it at all. So I skip these, do this one. I heal up and save at this save point. I had exactly enough MP to do Dark Mist. I think I shelter up here, which I probably didn't need to do, but I was pretty tight on shelters this whole run. I bought some, but then like I get near the end and I think I had exactly the amount I needed, like -1. And then I skip this, don't do any of this. Don't see, that's the one I could have gone up and grabbed, either one of those sides. And then here, I was not being, yeah, I was not hugging tight enough here. I like going for this one because I like feeling like I'm good enough to get this chest without triggering this fight. I was just being lazy there. I was not paying close enough attention, because usually I can get up to get that chest easily. It's the getting back out part that's often kind of tough. But as soon as you do the fight and try, it's like, well, and I got Black Hole, which was great. And there's a point later on in the run where I should probably as soon as you get Magus, you should put him in the front if you're going to be doing Black Hole strats. Not Black Hole strats in the sense of like one of my party members is dead. Just as in like for this fight, it probably would have hit 3 of them. You know, I'm not going to need to, because these you need to use all clears on, but there's a couple of fights later on, like in Black Omen and stuff, where positioning for Black Hole is a lot more important. And even like some boss fights and stuff, again, probably just going to ultimately be using Dark Matter for a lot, but not everything. There are things where non-elemental is much more important. at the point where you gotta do all these forced fights. I think I skipped the flowers. Yeah, so I did skip a decent amount of equipment here, or whatever treasures. I just was like, nah. Gloom Cape.
Dad.
Sorry. Call back later. Okay, yeah, because I could have ran and got to the chest over there, and again, I chose not to. I was just like, no, I'm trying to go fast. I really want to be able to get, because I'm... Oh yeah, and then I paused it here again, which, interestingly enough, just got a phone call. I also had a phone call there, so I'm going to skip ahead. I had to pause for a little while here. Well, guess I'm just... Yeah. I don't have precise... Whatever. Oh, well. You skipped me doing something. I don't remember exactly what it was. I picked up something. Maybe we'll find out. Is that going to bother me now? Alright. Let's go back and look. I hate that you can't do a precise, like, check there. Let's see what this was, and then we can zoom ahead to where the boss is. Because I can't remember if I got anything significant from these chests, or if I kind of just went for it. I think I skipped these birds. Or like, I think I just didn't fight them. Yeah, I just said nope. And there wasn't anything significant here, so... Looks like I equipped something there. I think it was just tabbing. No, it wasn't tabbing, because I get the next tab down here. Well, whatever. It's fine. Rainbow Helm's decent. Another tab. Let's see. Hurricane, Dark Helm, Rainbow Helm. Yeah. Oh yeah, there. I meant to organize and I didn't. Yeah. Oh, I screwed up here. I got so excited, I forgot about using a shelter. This was the mistake that I made here. And then I ended up having to use a handful of my better ethers in this fight because I forgot to shelter. And I think part of the issue was, again, I got that phone call and I had to stop and pause the game for a little bit. And I just kind of like wasn't 100% on my groove. Atropos. So like this fight wasn't hard at all. I just didn't have MP. And obviously that's the moment where it's like, oh, oops. And I just decided to... I can't remember if I waited to Super Volt or if I just shocked. I don't remember. I think I waited to Super Volt. Because I think with the Prism specs on Chrono, I was like, this is the much more optimal way for me to do this. And then I was trying to math, like, how much damage is this gonna do? Yeah. I can't remember exactly what math I was doing in my head here. Because I'm at like, what, 4,500 and it has like 7,000 HP or something like that. And then she heals and blah, blah, blah. She? Does the robot have a gender? I guess it doesn't matter. It's whatever they identify as. I don't know what they identify as. And I knew I had to get one more big attack off, which was like, I didn't give MP to Chrono. And then I paused it again. Why did I pause it again? Again. Maybe the phone rang again. Huh. There we go. And then I came back. I think that's the last time I stopped. I think this shock kills her. Can't remember. did do there, optimally, was not overheal my MP. You know, because I was pretty close. Definitely sell that Zodiac Cape at some point. Bent sword. Okay, yeah. So here I am, sitting with all an hour. I felt really good at the beginning of this run. We're now almost an hour in, and I'm like, where's that pendant? It's got to be in Denadoro, or at least it leads to Denadoro, right? Or like because of like Tomos Pop or something. And then I'm thinking worst case scenario is it's at Prism. It's the Prism Shard with Marl at the back of Cathedral, and I'm like, man, because I thought this was going to be a pretty fast run, because I felt so good at the beginning, and then this run ends up taking another hour. Because I have to ultimately, I think, go to the future and then try out a bunch of other things to find what I'm looking for. And I think what I ended up doing was not doing Eris Dome, because I think the first thing I do is check to see if Marl is in the future, which she was, so that I knew I was going to double up on going back to buying the Moonstone and doing the King's Trial to get 2 checks at once. But the first thing I did, I think, was the Son of Sunspot, because that was faster than both of those other options. And I think after doing those 3 checks, I had 2 go modes. And it still wasn't Terran Layer. What was I doing here? Okay, I was not paying attention. Yeah, okay, I was burning these guys because I had a fight or 2. And I didn't heal here. I did that intentionally because, again, just thinking about going fast is like, there are so few fights you have to do in this mountain that even though it's hardly much any time at all to just like use a shelter, I just was like, nope, the fastest way to do this is just to not heal at all. I don't even know if I saved. I think I just ran immediately up into this mountain. I don't remember checking. Didn't get any of these extra chests that were out of the way. Unless they were like right in my face like that. Didn't even grab this one. Went up a little bit higher than necessary there, but I'm still getting used to exactly how low I can go with that one. I got this one for some reason, which is absolutely nothing. Just a little check. Yep. Got through there with that skip. Didn't grab that one. I think the only thing I did was I talked to the... What do you call this dude? Not Specchio. What are they actually called? Like koalas? Koalis? Koalis? Something like that. So I did go up this mountain pretty quick. And I think that's one of the things I need to get better at is I often avoid this mountain like the plague. And I don't know why. I think I feel like it's so slow, but it's really not that bad if you skip everything. It's kind of like learning what I think a lot of really good runners just know intrinsically is like, don't avoid Mount Woe, because yes, it feels like it's super long and hard, but it's not. If you know where to go and you have to make the decision based on where you're at with equipment, where you're with techs, where you're at with experience, how much or how little of it you want to skip. You know, and Geno Dome is the same way. I think Geno Dome is just objectively a bit longer with what you have to do to complete it. But it's not that bad. There's obviously the conveyor belt skip, which is a big deal, which I can do, I don't know, 50% of the time or so. So I definitely want to practice that more too. Because 50% is like not what I want it to be, but it's hard. What did I end up using here? Dark Mist? Dark Matter? It's like I wanted to be able to one-shot these guys. Okay. Dark Matter felt over the top, like it was overusing how much MP I needed. this was. Whatever it was, I don't think it took long. Slash. Slash. Super slash. Even better. I'm trying to think about what I want to do here. I was thinking about Confuse and Robo-Tackle instead, but I think I don't know. Confuse might have been the smarter choice. The multiplayer on Super Voltage is pretty big, so I think that was the right call. I two-shotted him. I think it was the right call. Doing that math is quickly is definitely a skill, right? Or just knowing. You don't have to necessarily do math. You just have to know, like, is this gonna work? Now we're in, and I find a pendant. So at this point, I'm just like, okay. Like, I could keep, yeah, I'll just keep going. It's like, part of me wants to just, like, skip ahead through the trial sequence because it's not that interesting. Oh, yeah. I was like, wait a minute. I'm in the wrong era. I'm pretty sure I just did it with Chrono. I always have that thought about, like, I should do it with Magus. For the main reason that just in case you don't make it through the shield enemy skip, you can use Black Hole and you can still beat them really quickly rather than having to wait. And you can't run from that fight either, I'm like 99% sure. This would be a good get a snack break, bathroom break. I don't know why I didn't mash through that text faster. I think I was like doing something else on my phone at this moment. I was just like mashing through and just wasn't paying attention. I think, yeah, what did I do here? I was waiting for, again, not optimal here, right? Obviously not like truly speeding through some type of a race or anything, because I was doing something else. So Luca was in the burrow. Marl ends up being in the future here. And Ayla means Ayla was in back of Cathedral, which I never checked. But Pendant gatekeeps everything. Right? We understand that at this point, right? Because we know the other half of the sword is accessible through either the trial or the moonstone, and so is the time egg or the chrono trigger. And both of those things need future access / Marl access. So to do this seed the fastest, let's see. Where was the clone? I'm trying to remember. Shoot. And where was the other half of the sword? Gosh. One of them was up. One of them was on Heckram's, right? And I can't even remember now. Shoot. And I probably should have skipped Fitz here. Sorry, Fitz. I think this was a little unnecessary. I like to do it when I have Chrono, obviously, because he's the one that gets the mini-thers. And then the shop opens up anyway. But, like, I had somewhere to buy mini-thers, and I wasn't, like, super hurting for money. And it wasn't like it was early game where I needed a lot of mid-ethers, so I wonder if this was a waste. Okay, well again, I can't remember. But we could have gotten pretty early go mode if you had done some weird things in the right order, right? Like I had gotten the other half of the sword, which I can't remember if it was Hecarim or Gaia. I can't remember. Shoot. Oh well. Point was, you could have gotten up Denador pretty early to get Pendant. You had Gate Key. And so I could have done Pendant, could have gone here, and could have gotten Marl. Yeah, there's so many different options for how that could have worked, you know? But I could have came here pretty early and things would have been a lot different. Because you could have done Moonstone, right? You could have done Moonstone pretty easily because you could just buy it and you had access to Gatekeep right away. So you could have done the trial with Marl and yeah. There's options. It's hard to know. Hard to know. Excuse me. I think this was Yakra or Yakra the 13th, one of the two, which makes sense, you know, right? Like they were roaming around this castle and you fight them on the ramparts. Yeah, this spot for Yakra the 13th actually makes sense. It could have easily been here, except that was the Chancellor that we just saw. So if he had turned into it, that could have been interesting. Like honestly, like the plot of instead of the Chancellor having the Dragon Tank fight you, is the Chancellor is Yakra, and he fights you instead. You know, like, and if there were any like guards that saw, he would like try to hide it from them, or probably sort of kill the guards, you know, and blamed it on Chrono. Interesting thought. What was I doing here? Yeah, I think I just said screw it to Megas because he got confused again, and I was just like, nope, we don't need you. You're almost dead. And I probably didn't even need to heal him the first time necessarily. Again, thinking about doing this completely optimally and healing when I don't need to, I probably didn't need to heal Megas at all because I knew this wasn't gonna kill me. Right? Like it was just. Oh, and this is the other interesting thing I always like to think about is when you get the pendant, how many black, sealed chests do you go and open? I do the obvious one, right when you get through Arisdome. Lapis out of the way. It was pretty quick. Or not Arisdome. When you get whatever dome, you get into right here. But I didn't do Arisdome at all. But there's all the other chests, in 600 and 1,000. And I do grab a couple of them when I get the Moonstone and I buy it at the snail shop, I'm pretty sure. That might have been where the rainbow was. I'm trying to think. That sounds right if my memory is serving me correctly, but I don't know. Because at this point, I'm still looking for a better weapon for Robo and hoping he gets Uzi Punch soon, so I have him as a physical utility. Or like need to use Max Cyclone or something on the elevator. And I just don't think that ever happened. The elevator... Wait, did I do the elevator? No. I never did. Never mind. I must be thinking of a different run that I was doing recently where I didn't have Frog in the party and I brought Frog back in just for that exact reason, to do Frog Squash, because I didn't have... And I didn't do that optimally. I should have healed, talked to it, or whatever. I should have talked, healed, and gone back for the text. And I know that, and I usually do that. I just didn't for some reason this time. Because that's a really cool little movement tech, right? It's like talking to shop people, and then you keep running until the text box runs out when you get to where you want to go. Similar with the, the sealed doors. So yeah, what did I do here exactly? I think I just quickly went and grabbed, like, one chest. Like, the fastest one to grab. Which, yeah. was gonna. I thought about doing sewers for a second, and I was like, nope. I'm just gonna do. I think I went too far here. Yep. I should have just gone straight south. Heal. Did I give him anything else? Kept the black one on him. And I didn't shelter there because I had heat. I think this is the Elder Spawn one. No, this was regular Lavos. Okay. Wait. Did I just do it? I think I just said screw it. Yeah, and I think I just ended up choosing to push my way through it and just have Robo heal. And this is what the heal robot was for. Because I was like, I knew this was going to do a decent chunk of damage. And I was like, this shouldn't kill me? Yeah. But like, this is the point where I could have used the Hurricane and just physically attacked the head instead. And would that have been smarter, because then I wouldn't have had to heal as much. I don't know. 2,000 damage felt really good though, right? And this boss spot has like, what, 7,000 or something like that? I can't remember, 78 maybe? So I'm like more than halfway there already. Like, this might have been one more extra kill than I necessarily needed. Because I don't think I kill him with Confuse here. Oh, I did kill him there. I think I was just exactly, like, really close to enough. So I didn't need to heal there. To be optimal. But it was safe, you know, just in case he got something off on me. Yeah, I got Tomo's Pop and I was just like, ugh. You know, it's just like, I felt so close to go mode and then nothing. So this is where I'm crossing my fingers that Marl is here. And I don't have auto run on. I maybe should start thinking about it just for this room. But I do not like in any game ever where I can't control the speed of my character. If I have the ability to control the speed of my character, I always want the ability to do that, even if it just means holding down the button the entire time. Or like on a platformer, you know, like a Donkey Kong or Mario or something, it's like I always want to be able to control if I'm running or not. And like, even in this, like, I want to be able to control if I'm running or not. For this room in particular, if you have auto run on, you can just run past them. I think I was so excited to find Marl. I was sloppy with my movement execution here, and I ran up part of the stairs, thinking that I had let go enough. I was like, okay, start walking, and I ran just a hair too far, and I was like, shoot. And I was like, this is such an unnecessary fight. And I couldn't remember if you could run from it. I feel like you can't. Like, I feel, because they're there. Excuse me. Bum, 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 ba-da-da. Good music. Yeah, so I think I went to Snail Stop, bought the Moonstone, got a couple of chests, and then did the whole moon something, and then went to the trial. Thought about doing this blue pyramid and chose not to. What I was gonna do was get a couple other chests, and I think because I got something, and I didn't have money for this, which just like blew my mind. I was like, oh my god, you're right, I don't have money. I've never not been able to buy that. Especially that late in the game. It's like, oh yeah, I have no money. It's like, well, I guess it's time to sell. And this was like my big sell, I think. Why didn't I sell that Mega Blast? Like, what? cancel that. I did use that power seal briefly. Sold the silver ring because I had the gold earring. I probably should just like recognize that like there's only 3 equipment pieces that I ever need, and so I should just sell all of them. But like it is nice every once in a while, I think, to have something to up a different stat, just depending on a boss or whatever. Yeah, these ones are quick, but I thought like I should check the past for this too, because it was a rainbow. I think I was just like, okay, I'm done taking tests. It's like, okay, I'm good, and immediately I just like, yep. Didn't care about the speed anymore. He's like, he's down to 12 speed. Fine, I have a rainbow. Yeah, and I had that Kaiser arm. I was like, wait, why did I switch that? For some reason in my head, big hand is better, and it's not. I don't know why I thought that. Oops. I knew where it was on the map here. I was like, I'm pretty sure I can just go right. That is kind of a like a tech, is like knowing the map decently well. And you know, it feels like this takes a while. In a way, it does, but like it's still faster than doing a dungeon. You know, and like if you set it up perfectly because you have Marl and you can do both checks at once, like I don't hate the Moonstone the way some other people do. You know, like it obviously sucks early, but I actually sometimes get oddly excited if I'm able to get the double, you know, key item check. This was a mistake. Wait, no, it wasn't a mistake. I did go to 600 right first. I thought I went to the king without giving him the shard. I've done that before, so maybe that's why. And then again, I was like making sure I knew where I was on the map and going the other way, which is a dumb little, not dumb. It is a tech, it is a skill you should know about for doing this fast. I know what it was. I took Marl out of my party before I went down to the basement. That's what it was after I beat the boss. And I remember whatever beta, whatever update this was, the ability to peek what this item is. Yeah, I just took off whatever it was for me because I was switching Prism Specs to Marl, or was switching Marl in, so I gave the Prism Specs to Chrono. And she's like, oh yeah, I just sold everything for you. Oops. It's like, fine. What do you have? Nothing. You have nothing. You can cure me. It's like, okay, Marl. And then what was I thinking? I was thinking something like, I could gain a dual tech cure touch or something. I was like, that's not necessary. This should be easy. And I was like, I'm not going to peek. The absolute waste of time. Like, just to do this as fast as possible. Bum, 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 bum. Again, I don't even remember who this was. Super? Was it Flea? Regular Flea? I feel like it was regular Flea. I don't remember. Dragon Tank, maybe? Oh, it's Dalton. Gosh, I barely remember. Super wrong. And yeah, I just don't have Marl do anything. Because I think it's just smarter and faster to have her do nothing. And I think I just let him hit me with his little fireballs. Because again, it was just quicker. Just wait. Even though we're a little slow, just wait. Yep, there's his second fireball. But I knew that this was going to kill, or if it didn't kill, it was going to be very close. And that I could just kill him on my next turn. Even if he hit me with something big. If he killed Marl, I didn't care. And if he killed someone else, Marl could raise them up. And then if it was Chrono or Robo, and then Chrono or Robo could just kill. Like, even Shock would have killed him, whatever was HP amount was left. So, alright. Yep, there it was. It's like, I didn't need that tech, though. You know, whenever you're about an hour into the run, you're starting to be like, okay, where's my go mode? And when you're an hour and 20 plus in and you haven't found your go mode and you feel like you haven't made a lot of mistakes, you're just kind of like, okay. And I switched out. Yeah, I was like, okay, you go back to just being dumb old Marl. I'm done with you for now. And I should have, because I forgot, you have to have her in your party. What did I do here? I was thinking, what, yeah, I guess I was like, I guess I want you to have a little bit more magic. Because, like, the Prism Spec I just kept on Chrono for now with Confuse and Luminaire. And with the Rainbow, I was like, I think I'm just going to do Rainbow Confuse strats, like, for most things with Chrono. So I can see the argument for keeping the Prism Specs on Megas, but with Super Volt and with Chrono stuff, I thought this was the right call. Yeah, and then here it is. It's like, oh, you need Marl. That's right. Duh. But again, it doesn't waste, like, a lot. It's like, where do I talk to this thing? Okay, so here was the Ben Hild, and I was like, I was refusing to do Megas Castle Go mode. I was like, if these two things don't give me either a Chrono Trigger or a Dreamstone, it's like, I'm going to go do Thomas Pop and Aerostone. And I was just in my head already thinking, like, which one am I going to do? Which one's faster? Chrono Trigger's like, great, okay, now I'm good. Airstone's probably the better call because you get some sealed chests from it as well. There's a sealed chest in Thomas Pop, or in Giant's Claw, I should say. Okay, so I can't remember if I go directly to the future here or if I run and go. Oh yeah, because I knew I was gonna do this. I kept telling myself I was going to make sure to talk to Fitz, or Fritz, I say Fitz, because, you know, Fitz, but Fritz, and talk to Taban to get the extra item. Something super good in there. Because I've forgotten to do both of these things multiple times. I'm trying to make sure I get into the habit of, again, talking about it, rewatching my own commentary, blah, blah, blah. Like, I want to always remember to check this shop if you save him, which I've forgotten to do, and also Taban will give you your second item if you do the Moonstone. It's always a hat. And then if you forge the Masamune, you can get something else, but that felt like a way out of the way waste of time. And then I think we get ready to go to Death Peak. Yep. I think I did a pretty no, I think I did a very good Death Peak, except I fell on the Windy Bridge at like the very end, which I don't do very often. But besides that, I think I did a very quick Death Peak. And I always talk to this guy afterwards when he asks you so kindly, after everything he's done for Millennium, to turn off the switch. Like, of course. monster people who don't. He asks so politely, and he's done so much for you. Like, of course I'm gonna let you have your eternal slumber that you deserve. It takes, even in a race, every time I think I would do this. It's like the whole thing about saving Fritz or not, you know? It's objectively better to do it with Chrono. But when you don't have Chrono, it's like, oh, you're gonna save him or not? And it's like, well, it's not faster. You don't really get much out of it. It's slower. So no. In like a real important race, but like mostly it's just for fun. Because I think I get this swag tab. Prefect. Bum, 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 bum. Got this skip. Bum, 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 bum. I remember when I was first learning. This is my least favorite skip in the game. That one. Because it's so random. But anyway, I remember learning this dungeon when I was first learning this randomizer in general. It just feels so good to know where all of these little skips and tricks and stuff are. And if anyone watching is still kind of like feeling intimidated by learning this, or like all the different, dungeon routings and things like that, like I or other people in the community could help. There's a lot of good video tutorials about it, and it's not that bad. Like truly, there are no like insanely difficult tricks and skips and stuff in this run. Hardest one probably is the Genodome conveyor belt, and even though I don't still have that down 100%, and then like the little ones in Dactyls, but like they don't drastically change your time, and like you can figure them out like when you just practice them, If it's kind of just like the game that you're playing for a few weeks, like you'll figure it all out, Depends, I suppose, on how much you play. And I did miss this. I went just a little bit too low, and I was just kind of like, come on. Because I rarely miss that. And then I think I hit this dude, yeah, and I was like, and then he didn't die in one hit. I had that hurricane. I was like, dude, and then Chrono missed. It's like, what is happening? Because, yeah, here I was an hour and a half in, and I was like, what a stupid, just like, sequence of events. Definitely something I need to practice on and get better is not letting that stuff get to me. And I always love running down with these guys. They're good technical experience if you need it, but I felt like, nah, I don't need it. And I always go and get this shelter down here. And there's a chest down here too. I know like a good chunk of people skip this. I don't know, they just think that it's like not worth it because it's like this boss is never a big deal, or they forget it. I don't know. But like I always want to make sure I save before almost every boss. Because like I did just fight Dalton, but like it's like, what if it's Dalton? What if it's Flea? And like they just kind of screw up your day, Their brain like ends up screwing up your day because you just get bad RNG. I don't know. Elder Spawn. Yeah, this time I was just like, I don't care. Yeah, he doesn't have the prism specs on anymore, so he's not quite doing as much as he used to. But this, I think, does a good chunk. I do wonder if prism specs confused would have been smarter, but 2700 is nothing to sneeze at. I should have had Robo initiate this just because he was at lower HP. Yeah, because I think this might have been my first death. There was one other one that I didn't care about, but this is the first one that like actually mattered. Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna heal everybody. So I did not do this optimally. Like, that should be fine. I guess I can do that much. What was I doing here? I think I screwed. Yeah, I chose to switch to Confused to see what the difference was, and I was like, man. But like, that did more. That did more than Super Volt, right? Because like, that's with the rainbow, that's definitely the right call. And so like, that's something I should just remember / learn about. Another speed belt. So we're an hour and a half in, and I think this is about a 2-hour run. So I think, what, I go back to Melchior in the fair one more time to grab a couple extra shelters. I think I ultimately was down by 1 shelter. I think I bought like 6 and needed 7 or something. One of the bosses at the end of Black Omen, I just healed up instead of sheltering. Oh, and this is the other thing I did not do properly. I should, going back to what I said like an hour ago, I should have put Magus up front and done some black hole strats here in the Omen. Because I know you can't use Shadow on a couple of things like the gargoyles and the turrets and stuff. So I think I was, because usually if I have Luca, just like flare, fire 2 everything and you just win and it's fine. But without the prism specs on, I was just using, I tried fire 2 and it wasn't as good. And I also, for multiple reasons, right? Like, not strong enough. It's not as good as Luca's fire 2 and he didn't have the prism specs on. So partway through the dungeon, I realized that, and I just switched back to using Black Hole, which I usually do anyway, so I don't know why I wasn't thinking that. Because I like hadn't used Black Hole, I think, this whole run. I think I had not used it a single time yet. And so I wasn't thinking about it. Like, did I need to spend the time here buying these shelters? I think so. I think it does really change things. Yeah, and I didn't buy anything else because I knew there was the one more shop with the new in the middle of the Black Omen. I heal up one more time because you don't heal after Death Peak, and I'm about to fight the doors to get inside. I'm trying to think of Black Omen, who the bosses were, and did I do everything well? Oh, I did switch this around. What did I do here? I think I gave him the power seal, just because I'm thinking he's the physical powerhouse. Yeah, and then I give the prism specs back to him. Was there anything else here? Time hat. I didn't have great status protection, but I was fighting Zeal, so I wasn't that worried about it. Yeah, I think again spending a little bit too long here. And the power tab. At some point, I accidentally give a power tab to Magus or Robo, which again isn't the end of the world. I think I do Black Omen pretty well. So it's almost 134. It's 133.55 when I came in here. So it takes me about a half hour, I think, to go through Black Omen. Roughly. It's like, could I have done it faster? I definitely could have done some of the Zeal fights faster. I think I healed up 1 or 2 times, and I was playing a little bit more conservatively, where I should have just like gone for it. These guys are so fast. I think I just ran away, right? I should have gone into the menu here. Yeah. And they started sleeping. Oh yeah, so turrets run around those. What again before I didn't do optimally was this. So I definitely could have gone through this dungeon faster if I was thinking about Magus properly, because this did not do it. I was like, shoot. I was like, well, what do I do now? I guess I just kill them one at a time and just make sure they're actually dead, and not just punch them, use attack. But Chrono's like, well, he's got a way to go. He'll kill him. So here I was like, okay, so Fire 2's not enough. And then I finally got Max Cyclone. Laser Spin was the last thing. Waiting for this turret. I don't know if you can make it past that turret because those dudes are up there. So here, again, I think I tried it one more time. If it was just the gargoyles. Like, yep, okay, so I was like, I'm done with Fire 2. Like, that was not working. So both of these fights, I could have saved a little bit of time. Because, like, all of this happens, right? Like, all of this shenaniganery is going on. Like, all these dudes, and I was like, I was just trying to use shock. And I think I used Luminary again. I was like, did I forget to hit shock? Is that why they hit me so often? I was like, no, they just all went before me. I probably don't need it to shelter down here, but I think I do. And that's maybe where the one, like, in my head, 6 shelters was the amount I needed, but you need 7, I think, if you're gonna do it here as well. So I'm just trying to go fast. Bum, 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 bum. So then I'm trying Dark Mist, because I'm like, Dark Mist should be more than enough to take care of most of these things. Like, Shadow Magic is fine. Like, some people talk about, like, oh, I don't want to have Magus and Black Omen because his Shadow Magic's bad. It's like, it's only bad against, like, 3 things. And you just gotta know what those 3 things are. It's the gargoyles and the turrets, and then something else that I can't remember. Maybe the tubsters? Maybe? So again, I'd have to look it up. And this one, yeah. I was like, wait, no, I flinched. Because, like, sometimes I forget. Like, I know what to do in this room. You wait. But I think I saw it and I flinched for a second. I was like, wait, go. And probably what I should have done was just run away from this fight. But I was like, I guess I could use an extra bit of, experience points. Like this is a good, if you're gonna do a fight, might as well do one of these just to get the experience points. I'm taking back everything I said. Like, I did not do this dungeon optimally because I think the next one, yeah, because this guy runs away, and I'm like, well, that's stupid. Wait, there you go. I'm like, can I get around this guy? No, I don't think you can. But I think I just run from this one. Yeah. Who is this? Okay, I think I get this. I went fast enough. He turns left, and then he looks up. Yep, great. I like that skip. Yeah, I think we just turn that down. It's loud. Sorry if my phone is dinging and picking up. Oh wow, that is. It's like, in my head, I'm like, Megas can take care of most screen wipes here. That's the moment I did it. So there we go. Okay. About 5 minutes in, Should have thought of it earlier. Could have saved a minute or so. Just all those little fights, probably. 15 seconds here, 15 seconds there, you know, it adds up. Because now I'm sitting here going, you know what I did here? You know, I screwed up there was because I was expecting Chrono to be in the first spot and Megas to be in the third spot, and that screwed me up. And I was thinking as soon as that happened, I was like, man, is it worth putting Megas here if I'm gonna screw it up for the rest of the run? And I'm just like, no, like I just gotta get used to it really fast. I think I did. I stopped there for a second because I used to try to like do a different movement to get through that room, and I was never super consistent with it. Like I thought I had figured out, ooh, a swallow, but I had a rainbow. I decided to stay with a rainbow. In that room, you just hold diagonal up and to the right, and it works. In this room, you just hold up, and you go through. And then this one, also, I used to try to go through the center here with the squares, but it's like, no, just hug the wall. It's a tiny bit slower, but it's way more consistent. Okay. What did I get here? I don't remember this being insane. I remember there was a sun spec. No, what was it? What did I end up doing here? There was the sunshades. Okay. And I stopped for a second. I was like, okay. Yeah, and just the sunshades are better than a power seal, 100%. Okay, we're looking. So now I actually was utilizing the equipment here before I sell everything. And what did I end up buying? I think I just bought a bunch of mega elixirs. I think. And then one extra amulet. Because I was like, what if? And it was completely unnecessary. Speed belt felt important just in case I needed to outspeed something. Yeah, mega elixirs. I chose not to buy the Giga Arm. I just thought I probably don't need more than 3 mega elixirs, or like 3 is the max you probably need. So I probably should have bought the Giga Arm instead. But I think I find a better weapon. I think I find a Terra Arm for him later. I think. You know, I'm gonna look up right now. This is gonna screw up my video. I'm using my phone. Tubsters is what they're called, right? Yeah. What element do they absorb? Or a blubber Hulk, I guess, if you're talking about the DS translation or whatever. They do absorb shadow, yeah. And they're weak to fire. That's why I was thinking about using flare and fire too. But that's why Megas is not bad in this dungeon if you have Black Hole and you're in the right spot, because it works most every time. And now we're coming up on my favorite skip in the game. Sorry, after these guys. Those guys suck. They're the worst. Is this skip, which again I'm usually quite good at. But I got caught. There. And I don't know, I hit the corner of the door or whatever. Like, screw this. Usually it's my favorite. It's still my favorite, even if I don't get it 100% of the time. I just love that skip. I think it's fun. That, and yeah, then I think Black Hole hits all 3 of them here. Because it's good. Where did I go with these last couple of things I got? A Gloom Cape, yeah. Eyeball. Eyeball. There's the right eyeball. And then I'm like, wait, do I go? I go. I just went for it. And then I think black hole works again, yeah, because they come down. Now there's this turret just south of here that I used to miss all the time, and now I've gotten a lot better. Just like wait for his. You got to just inch down, wait for its little turret head to move, and then you can go right around it. The amount of just different like triggers for encounters in a Super Nintendo game from 1995 is just so fascinating. Like, I didn't know a lot of that stuff when I was a kid growing up. When that's right, that has Protect on it. So like those ones are visual based. Others are tile based. Others are like it's crazy. I think I keep the blackmail. Well, maybe I don't. I think it's because other people had black shadow absorption. So like we don't need everyone with shadow absorption. I just want Megas to have really good defense. So many speed belts, and then I think I find another amulet. I think is what happens. Mega Blast. Is that right here? Yes, it was. that particular chest, I feel like I have a lot of memories of it just being something I already have a copy of. There it was. See, I gave those to Megas accidentally because I was so used to Chrono being at the top. And then did I shelter there? Can't remember who these were either. Regular fleet. Yeah, and I did not shelter again. I forgot. Which, yeah, I reset because I did it again, and I was like, you know what? I can wait the extra 10 seconds to do this real quickly. Like that was worth it, I think. That's more than 10 seconds. It's like 20. I forgot about the little intro cutscene here for the boss. I think it was worth it. I mean, obviously I didn't do it correctly, so it wasn't worth it. I think it was the right call in the moment. I think I'm about to confuse Shock. Or, yeah, because they still didn't have Uzi Punch. Would have been better here. And I think I do that in the next round. Again, with the rainbow, that's just smart. Well, I was waiting to see what this did first. What was I doing here? I think I was waiting to have heal beam up if necessary. I think that's what I was trying to do. Yeah, I was like, okay. Yeah, I did not do this super quick. And I think he screws me up with the stair at some point. And then he's out of MP. I think I just do it because I think I'm getting close. And it's like, do I use an elixir here? Do I... Yeah, and then he screws me up here, I think. Yup. And there's like life. When you have Chrono, use life instead of a revive. Always, if you have the opportunity. It's the smarter play. It heals for more. It doesn't use up a consumable item that another character can use. Yeah, and I was like, I have so many Mega Elixirs. Because now he's definitely super close to dying. Yeah, and then use Confuse. And then probably should use Shock instead of Robo Attack because he didn't. I never got that good weapon onto Robo. See, I definitely could have done this fight faster. I don't know why I was so like, I felt like just a little bit off. I think I was starting to feel it. I think I was just like, I was almost 2 hours in and I was starting to get a little tired. I was like, going fast. Up the elevator. This is another good instance of, I think, black hole. And then if you ever fight the little twin-headed black snake dudes, I think it's a very similar scenario here. I can't remember what those guys are called. If I can find it here. List of enemies or something. Here's enemies. Hydrocondas? Is that what they're called? Yep. At least in the, I guess, the DS. Ruminators. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, and this is the last skip in the game, and I screw it up. I've done the last couple of times. Though the hitboxes of these things, it's so big. Like, I'm trying to get up there and get into that spot where I can just wait and kind of watch them go up and down. And then I go, because, like, I can do the skip, but their wingspan is, like, an extra. It's big. Ruminators are amazing, because in the base game you can get mega elixirs off of them. Counters none. Absorbs none. Yeah, so just like basic. Just the Ruminators. The little snake dudes. Black hole. It's good. Chrono with Luminaire with the prism section should probably be fine by this point, but I haven't put any magic into him, so I'm actually not sure. Because like Luminaire is an amazing tech. Chrono does not have great magic right off the bat. It's fine. And you can make him a great mage. I should learn about this drill. What's the fastest way to trigger this fight? Because I usually just automatically go up to the right. And I think it's a line across the board, but I'm not actually sure. Excuse me. Let's see. Another amulet. Gosh. 3 amulets. What was I doing here? I think I was checking to see if I had. I thought I picked up a tap from an enemy or something. I was wrong about that. This I think is Dragon Tank. Yeah. And then the last one is. I don't remember. I want to say Gigagaya or Massime. I have no idea. I can't remember. What was I waiting for here? What was I doing? Was I talking to someone for a second? Like, why? What was I doing here? I can't remember. I think I can't remember why I stopped there for a sec while I was playing. Maybe I was trying to, like, think for a second about, like, magic, lightning damage against this guy. It's like, no, it doesn't absorb. It's just the head doesn't take lightning damage. Like, that's not the answer. I think that's what I was worried about. I was worried about for just a second. Like, am I going to heal him? It's like, no. He doesn't absorb. He just doesn't take the lightning damage is the difference. And he's dead. Yeah, super fast. And there's the last big chunk of tech. Got Slash, and got a Doomsicle, got Mega Flare, got another Rainbow. I don't even remember that. This is the spot where I didn't shelter or save when I went back. I just decided to just heal up here. And I was like, nope, we're just gonna use the mid-ethers. Like, it's gonna go faster. I have enough of them. What was this? It was another mutant. I don't even remember that. Must not have been that significant. Because it was Mega Mutant too. Really not significant. Again, with any of the other mutants, I probably would have thought about just some Super Bowl here. But I probably should have used Confuse because of Mega Mutant not being... God, he's done so... Anyway, I two-shotted him. It didn't matter. Another Mega Elixir. Yep, and I'm just like, well, let's go. Because this is the last room. And so I think this was my last shelter. Which I barely needed, but always good to use. And then I think I didn't quite kill Zeal 1 fast enough. So I did, I think, use either another Mega Elixir or just a heal beam from Robo. I gave him the Doomsicle, just in case I needed it. I don't know why I ever would, but it's just like, I like, if I have the best weapon, I want to equip it, you know? Maybe for some weird reason, if something weird got screwed up with Mamoon Machine 2, or with the Mamoon Machine, that I need to use physical and flop, you know, from physical to magic. I don't know. But yeah, I did not quite get off killing this guy. Or this gal, I should say. Because, like, Oozy Punch is not going to do enough. Didn't quite do 2,200 damage. Yeah. So, did get Halationed. And so what did I do? Yeah, I think I decided Chrono use a Mega Elixir. Like, we're just going to full heal. I had enough of them. So that I would go into Zeal. Memory Machine, and just felt like I could go fast because I'm still not 100% on the menu glitch here. Yeah, I didn't get it. I'm quite good at the Lavos one. I don't 100% have that one down for some reason. I can practice a little more. Oops. And here I did just opt to go Super Volt because if I did Confuse once, like I can only use it once because his defense goes up with the physical nature. So I think I just did Super Volt into, yeah, because it's doing 32 like with the Prism specs. Which is probably about as much as you know, Confuse does. If not, Confuse does a little bit more, but it would only do that much on the first turn. And I was like, I can kill this guy in 2 rounds. And they did. A safe helm could have been What's the move that does some physical? Is it Hexagon Mist? Does that do some physical damage with the water? I can't remember exactly. Now, I know I didn't optimally do this fight either. I think I ended up healing and setting up a little bit more than I needed to because I was trying to do the numbers and the math to get to 10,000 and then 20,000. I think I was just, it's hard sometimes. Fast math. Yeah, I think I just do Dark Bomb all the way, right? It's just Dark Bomb and Confuse and Uzi Punch. That's the plan. And then heal when I needed to. I was trying to think, like, can I get off a Dark Matter or a Super Volt at the right time when he's low enough on HP, but... I'm not going to try to count this time. I already did once. I just know this does a lot. Yeah, 2,800. And I think I get enough where I get her down to half HP and I get to use all my moves. Because like Chrono will get to use Confuse one more time, Mega's get to use Dark Bomb one more time, and I think we just Mega Elixir. But I think the problem is I waited. And I should have used it when she does the trigger finger. Because I can't remember what type of damage that does. It's like, well, it would heal if it hit the right person. There it is. So then we just do a revive into a Mega Elixir. Yeah. Either way, you have to do the Mega Elixir. So I can see the argument for like using the Mega Elixir before the finger gun, but then one of your characters is at 0 MP. It's like you'd have to use another item again anyway, which is the amount of time it took to do the revive. So I think it's actually the same. Like you just wait for the character to die and then revive into Mega Elixir. Pretty close here. One more round. Yeah, I think I was at like a 203, so. Interesting seed. Could have been done a lot differently, so yeah, definitely some things I could have done better. There's time. Cool. So yeah, it's fun to know and fun to learn what I could have done differently, what I could have done better. Maybe if I have time, I'll try to run the seed back again and do a different route, or just do the same route and see if I can do it faster to improve on like the specific things I did wrong. But yeah, that was fun. All right. Yeah, that was great. Thanks everyone. Hope you all learned something. I learned something. Cool to do different like alternative content every once in a while. So yeah, thanks so much, and we'll check you out later.